When I first made this podcast, one of my favorite things about it would be that I could just tell you what I think, what my views are, and I wouldn't have to really substantiate things because it's like a brainstorming session. We would just talk about what my thoughts are. And I apologize, it's been kind of a long time. It's been a while. Play it. Yeah, that song is my fucking favorite. I loved Break the Ice even when it first came out. I think it was my favorite actually on Blackout. I was like, oh, this song is lit. That and Radar. I have not been doing this Britney Spears stuff as long as a lot of other people. It's been, I think, at most a year and a half now. I was so fucking cocky when I started. I'm like, I can bam this shit out in fucking 2 months. I don't want to be stuck on this for a year. Here we are a year and a half later. It feels like a lot of things have happened in that year and a half, but it also feels like nothing has happened. It kind of feels like a never-ending loop of where is Britney Spears and never getting answers that fully answer that question. It's like we get closer, but we also get farther every single time. It's a real Alice in Wonderland, isn't it? Sometimes I wonder, do I feel better now after knowing more about this Britney Spears stuff? And I just think, no, I just know more. I just know more how the world works. I just know more about the ugliness of this world. I just know more. Doesn't make me feel any better. I think a lot of people get my page wrong and get actually me wrong. I think they think I'm very confrontational, so they'll leave very heated comments being like, oh, fuck you, and I hate you and all this stuff, and I'll just be like, okay, well, thank you so much for hanging on. Sorry that we're not a match, and peace out. I think they expected a fight, but like honestly, I'm not a confrontational person. The persona that I put up when I make videos is probably me at my most outgoing. It's me, but it's not me in this moment. It's not me all the time. It's not something that's sustainable, honestly, for myself. But you know, it's not very inspiring if you have someone who's like, it's fucked up, you guys, and I'm so fucking sad. I don't usually listen to myself when I do podcasts, but if this one comes out better, then shit, maybe I should do this more often. So, that's a little bit of background. Maybe the next episode should just be a cumulative episode of everything I think about this Britney Spears movement. I assume that this is episode number 20 now, maybe 21. This is season 1 finale. And we'll start season 2 in the next couple of podcast episodes. I'm sorry I've neglected this podcast episode. I've learned a lot of information in the last 2 months. It hasn't really given me any time to process that information. All I've done is I've read the information, I synthesized the information and tried to put it out as fast as I could because I felt like it was imperative that I get that information out. I also started looking at the bigger conspiracy picture stuff because it all relates to Britney Spears, and I felt weird to do podcast episodes purely about the conspiracy stuff that I was looking up in a Where is Britney podcast, and I didn't know if I should make another podcast. And then I'm like, oh shit, I should have named it Where is Britney. I probably should have named it, I don't know, something a little bit more broad, but I kind of feel like she's at the center of all of this. Like they, that quote from that guy, somebody else put it, save the cheerleader, save the world. She's not just some random pop star. I think she's like literally the key to all this. Or it's like what that one psychic or clairvoyant, Crystal Clear, that's not her name, that's actually a better name than hers, Crystal something. I think she is a representation of what we collectively have manifested. And I think that is the reason why she's going to wake everyone the fuck up. I tried watching The Matrix, by the way. That shit is so fucking like outdated and shit that I was like, you know what? I get the references. We don't need to watch the whole fucking thing. By the way, if anyone wants to do an episode of this podcast with me, send me an email at request@thisninjanerd.com or admin at thisninjanerd.com. Let's fucking do it. This podcast is more of a personal kind of thing. Like, I mean, if you fucking listen to this, like, you really fucking like my channel, and I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I'm so fucking flattered. Because you wanted to see how the cookies are made, you know, the behind the scenes. You care a little bit more than the people who are more casual pass buyers. So I think it should be something that's fun for you. Like, you know, you get like, oh my God, look at all the fucking like tea I got. But if you are okay with it being published, I'd love to do a fucking podcast with anyone who's interested. So take this as the penultimate episode before the season finale. And I will be doing a season finale of season 1. Then we'll move on to season 2, which is going to be filled with a little bit more fluff at first. I don't know if it'll ever be better than this season. A lot of these episodes I made before anyone ever listened to this podcast that I really like. I think the first 8 episodes I did before anyone ever listened to the episode, and I really enjoyed those first 8. This was like a creative endeavor that was a great outlet, since that fucking therapist won't let me talk about Britney Spears in my therapy sessions. He's still my therapist, but I'm just like, Jesus, guy. It probably is about things that are deeply rooted in me if we just talk about it, but it's okay. I felt like collectively, I felt a lot of what people are feeling. I mean, I felt it before when I was just making Britney Spears videos, but then I thought, no, these thoughts should be shared, because I think people feel this too. People feel this injustice, this upset, this aggravated at what is happening. And I should let them know you're not alone. So that's why I started making these episodes. Initially, I did them for the Ghetto Patreon, and then I thought, who the fuck is it helping if I'm putting all these episodes behind a paywall? Because I think some of the episodes were good. I especially like episode 7. Can we still save Britney Spears? I think that was the one that I decided, no, I should release all these publicly, except the ones where I talk shit about people. So that's why I made the move to make everything public except certain episodes, like early previews and stuff. Or like, I guess extended versions, but honestly, it's way too much fucking work for me to do extended versions and shit. Then I thought, you know what, there's only like maybe 100, maybe 200 of you guys that actually would like listen to this anyway, so I should make most of them free anyways. Like, this is not a big account. And if you stuck around to listen to these, it meant that you really enjoyed my shit. So, enjoy it. I'm appreciative. Back in August, I really thought we had a shot. Well, before August too, but especially right before August. Initially, when I started making these Britney Spears videos, I had the biggest fucking fear. When I saw that a lot of the videos seemed to be deep fakes, I actually initially sent my findings to Alan. I didn't want to be the one that made the announcement. I didn't want to be the person who found this out. I freaked out in therapy and I said, I don't want to be the person that tells everyone Britney Spears isn't here, or she's not on her account. I didn't want to be known as that. And here I am now, telling bitches left and right, nope, that's not Kate Middleton, nope, that's not Britney Spears. As we went deeper in the Britney Spears stuff and I found out more things, that same fear came again. I don't want to be the person that tells the world horrific news about Britney Spears. But the reason I made that video was because when I sent it to Alan, she didn't do anything with it. It was only a couple hours, but I was like, this information needs to go out now. But I don't think she responded to me. I don't think she actually ever responded to that message, to be honest. So I thought, let me put it on the internet. Maybe Alan's afraid of looking crazy, so I'll put it out on the internet, and if I'm wrong, it'll be so good. It'll feel so nice, because all these people will just call me fucking crazy and tell me get out of Delulu land, and I'll never have to think about this again. I did my moral duty. I did my civic duty. I did what was necessary, and it just didn't pan out. So I put that video online. I think that was one of my first videos to go somewhat like semi-viral after the Britney Spears thing. I think I got 10,000 views on that one, and not one fucking person called me crazy. Every time I got a comment, my heart stopped, hoping somebody would analyze it, somebody would counter it, somebody would give me evidence or say something that just totally like blew me out of the water, just dismissed, like, no, there's a logical fucking reason for that. To date, no one has ever provided anything of such kind. Sometimes people like to comment my page and say, you just want to be right. Never, ever in my fucking life have I ever wanted to be so wrong. It's a fucking burden. It's a fucking heavy toll that it takes on a person to feel like morally they have to do this. This amount of people that have literally sold out and turned their backs on Britney Spears. The amount of comments that I get from people saying, please never give up, please never stop. It's a heavy burden. I don't mind it. Because I think the worst thing that could happen to society, to any of us, is to lose hope in things that we strongly feel committed to. But I would never say that I was someone who wanted to be a leader, or I think as a character arc, I'm a reluctant leader at best. It's more like, fuck, is no one else going to do it? Fuck. Mm-hmm. Alright, I guess I'll do it. That's me in a nutshell. I think the next episode will be all my thinkings and my thoughts about this Britney Spears stuff, about where it's going, where it's been, and also just a too long don't read, here's all the fucking tea. Because I thought I wanted to do like some long format, high production fucking thing about here's all the tea, the stuff, the real Britney Spears. Honestly, fuck it. Maybe in the future. Maybe let's just get that shit out now. Maybe that'll be season 2. I don't fucking know. It'd be good to process some of it, I guess. To anyone who's stuck around and to anyone who continues to listen to these podcasts, I thank you for sharing this moment with me. Thanks for helping me process and try to get a grip of what is happening and all this stuff. My bottom line thoughts on Britney Spears are, she's one part of a very big picture of corruption. I don't know for sure what's happened to her, but I get an idea. It's not pretty. At some point, people keep asking me, do I think she's alive? And I go, sadly, yes. And they go, sadly. And I go, there are worse things than death. If she's still alive, the things that she's had to live through, the things that she's had to witness. I used to want so badly for her not to be dead. And then one day, when things got way too heavy and way too deep, and I thought about the implications of if she's been alive this whole time, it dawned on me that Would it be better if she had died in 2016? 100%. It doesn't look like that happened, though. Something happened. I'm just not sure what. I think the craziest finding that we have found out in this year and a half together was probably the whole Free Britney movement was strategically planned. That to me was probably the biggest, crazy, most what the fuck kind of thing that has ever happened. Do I believe that every single person who participated in the Free Britney movement is a plant? No. I think some of them are some honest to good people. Some of them probably are just unaware. When you take a step back and you look at the bigger picture, you look at the dates and you look at the timing and you look at the interviews and the timelines that just don't add up, it becomes very clear what happened. And then you look at some of the bigger YouTube accounts like Deep Dive, who did all these deep dives on Britney Spears that coincidentally lined up with the narrative that was being forced out by the conservatorship, and then all of a sudden just dropped her like it was hot once she was free. The amount of people that dropped the topic of Britney Spears the moment she became free, being like, well, that's old news now. Ding, 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 ding. That's your big clue of who was probably planted from the first movement. Now, if you're curious about the second movement, the moment we all had big friction and accounts started attacking my page, ding, 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 that'll tell you who's in the second movement, who's probably not the most sincere advocate. I had made several videos, I think by the end of last year, that had been like, can we just kumbaya? Can we just agree to disagree? Can we all just say that we care about Britney Spears in different ways and there's no reason to single out or sideline any creator? The creators that went against that message should give you an understanding of who I think has been paid out. I've already made several mentions already on my account. But anyone who went out of their fucking way to make a video about me is probably the first account I would think of. This movement has been the most fucking frustrating thing I have ever fucking been a part of, begrudgingly. And it's not like the viewers or the followers, it's the creators. I always was afraid of making videos, afraid of like the public audience and the reactions that they would have. Never would I have thought that the creators would be the worst fucking part of it. You would think that we would have something in common. But it seems like we all have different agendas. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. That's this Ninja Nerd's Thoughts, THOTS, because I'm obscene that way.